The warships carrying Tuan Hamdan and 1,078 men head for Sumatra. Operation HAZE is underway.
The condition that the government had put upon us on our way for this mission and operation is quite heavy, I believe.
Packed in the ship's holds like sardines, the bombermen face a 20-hour voyage across the straits to Sumatra. After the frantic rush to prepare, the Bomba volunteers have time to reflect, and many are fearful about what might lie ahead.
Perasaan tu kata sungguh terharu dan berasa berdebar-debar sebab kita tak tahu hutan di sana ketika itu. Jadi kita ada perasaan takut, okay? Lepas tu ada perasaan juga kita suka sebab kita nak berkhidmat peringkat antarabangsa.
And some of them, they have performed their prayers, especially the Muslim. And even some of them try to go through their manuals of firefighting. Some of them were actually thinking, what are my kids and my wife is doing at home?
It is essential that mission leader Hamdan come up with a workable strategy before the team arrives in Indonesia, so he gathers together his senior officers to plan their campaign.
When we met, everybody was actually in a total blank. For every kind of battle, you must know your battlefield. But we had never done any kind of recce.
With a team of just over 1,000 men and only the basic equipment, they agree that the most effective plan is for them to operate together as one unit to tackle fires burning in different regions of Sumatra.
We're discussing the most critical challenges and obstacles that we might face. We don't really know the terrains in Sumatra, and we don't even have a picture of how big is the area that the fire ground is.
Pada masa itu kita tak tahu berapa hari kita akan beroperasi di Indonesia dan berapa lama kita akan beroperasi. Yang kita tahu, kita mestilah siap sedia secara mental dan fizikal.
As the warships approach the Sumatran coast, the haze thickens significantly.
Melihat ke kanan dan kiri kapal kita lawak putih, seperti seolah-olah skrin layar putih. Tak nampak apa pun. Belakang kapal pun kita tidak nampak, begitu tebalnya.
When we arrive, it's a certain kind of scary moment. We can hardly see the distance of 5 meters. It's not only the haze, but also the smoke, but also the debris of the forest fire. You can smell it.
Once at Port Dumai, team leader Tuan Hamdan makes a discovery which calls his master plan into question. The Indonesians show him satellite pictures of the hot spots. He is astonished by the number of fires.
In August 1997, Indonesia had approximately 37,938 hotspots just in 1 month.
They said we have this number of hotspots. It covers almost 3/4 of Sumatra.
The Indonesians propose that the Malaysian team be split into 17 units so they can tackle as many hotspots as possible. But Tuan Hamdan is not immediately convinced.
To me, we thought that we are the firefighters. We are the ones going to fight the fire. We know how to do it, and we should be posted according to what we plan. I fear that we will fail in terms of logistic support.
Now, the bombermen must go into action against an enemy that is even more formidable than they feared. September 1997. Southeast Asia is under attack from the haze generated by thousands of fires raging out of control in Indonesian forests. In Sumatra, a team of Malaysian firefighters arrives in Pekanbaru, where team leader Tuan Hamdan sets up a base camp to direct Operation HAZE. He must now split his team into 17 different units to tackle thousands of fires spread out over a huge area.
1,200 firefighters in 17 pools is not that easy. What more to say in a foreign country?
The problem is, there is not enough essential equipment to adequately equip every team.
Sedangkan manpower yang kita ada dengan peralatan kita, mampukah kita menangani? Macam satu tempat kawasan peperangan, semua nak peralatan. Saya untuk Palembang di sini Palembang. Saya di sini Jambi. Okey, peralatan. Siapa di Jambi? Apa peralatan? Lampu suluh. Kita nak kapak, nak barang.
Then, crammed inside lorries and buses, the Bamba teams must go their separate ways. Many face arduous journeys to the remotest parts of Sumatra. When the firefighters finally reach their designated hotspots, where the worst fires are burning, they are in for a nasty surprise. The most essential tool of any firefighter, water, is in short supply.
The availability of water in Sumatra was just not there. It was really difficult, if not almost impossible, for firefighters to do their job properly.
Yang ada kemudahan pada ketika itu hanyalah sebuah perigi yang dalam mempunyai ring dan air dia tak banyak. Jadi bagaimana kita nak beroperasi?
Even when the firefighters track down a water source, it is often located far from where it is needed most.
Some places we have to lay our hoses about 1,000 feet away, and then we have to do relay pumping, which means we have to use double pumps. When 1,000 feet away, the source, another 1,000 feet we have to relay by using another pump.
The work is backbreaking.
Tapi jarak perjalanan untuk kita nak mengangkat peralatan daripada jalan raya tersebut atau jalan masuk memang sukar. Kalau ni berat, kita angkat 4 orang. Kalau kita tak, nanti dia tenggelam. 2 orang akan bawa cinsau, potong untuk kayu-kayu yang menghalang. Yang lain akan bawa peralatan hose, bag, makanan, semua akan bawa lah. Jadi kita bergerak sekali.
Once they get the water flowing, the Bamba teams begin tackling the biggest blazes. They enter a perilous world of toxic fumes and falling trees.
You see strong-looking green trees, but the roots are already burnt and they can just collapse down.
Apabila dengar bunyi macam ada pokok yang nak tumbang, bunyi krek yang kuat, kita terpaksa berhenti dan melihat pokok mana yang akan tumbang.
But the Bamba teams become aware of a graver threat. Even where trees no longer stand and forest fires no longer burn, hundreds of dense plumes of smoke rise from the ground into the sky. This is the smoke that causes the haze. It seems as if the very earth is on fire, and it is, for vast areas of Sumatra are covered in a thick layer of peat. Peat is compacted organic matter that is accumulated, layer upon layer, over tens of thousands of years. In places, it can be 20 meters deep. Peat is naturally wet, but ambitious drainage canals created for agriculture have sucked dry large areas of peatland in Sumatra. And this year, the monsoon rains are late, so the huge peat expanses become highly flammable, like a giant tinderbox. Sparks from the forest fires penetrate deep into the ground, and now meters below the Bamba men's feet, subterranean blazes rage out of sight and out of control.
They managed to control the fires on top of the surface of the land, but then the fires went inside the ground.
As experienced firemen like Dato So know, peat fires can be one of the toughest to put out.
Peat soil fires can move silently like a cancer growth. You do not know it. It keeps moving.
There is just one way to tackle these underground blazes: huge volumes of water must be pumped deep into the ground.
Kita akan tembak air ke dalam tanah tersebut. Tapi kerja-kerja ini sangat berbahaya sebenarnya sebab kita tak tahu keadaan di bawah tanah tersebut. Api di mana. Kadang-kadang ada anggota saya yang terpijak dalam tanah tersebut dan terus jatuh ke dalam semua.
Pit soil is a soft area, soft muddy area. You wouldn't know whether you're stepping on a solid soil.
And it's dangerous to the firefighters because any firefighters can drop into and sink and they can be burned inside there. Over there, the pit soil, you can't even measure the depth. You used to take a long stick and then you try to press it down until you manage to get a hard ground. And you continue pushing it down until there is infinity.
For the firefighters, there's an even worse problem. The plumes of smoke rarely show precisely where the underground fire is located. There's no point in blindly pumping in water. Not a drop can be wasted.
Hutan yang tebal, dengan keadaan jerebu yang tebal, dan kita tidak ketahui di mana punca api. Kita merasakan, kita kata kita memburu musuh yang kita tak nampak.
Somehow, the bomba teams must track down these hidden blazes. Firefighter Tuan Mahandran finds a solution.
Fire, we hardly see in the daytime. So we can only see the glow sign when it is night. So that's why we need to do recce on the night hours, so that the next day we can plan our strategy and tactical operation.
The strategy proves remarkably successful, and soon the number of smoke plumes begins to diminish. Operations like these require meticulous organization to combat the fast-moving underground fires. But the task of getting the bomba teams in the right place at the right time is plagued by communication problems.
We need to communicate from one division to another because the area in which we operate was vast. And this communication allows us to be keeping in contact with each other as we move, because the jungle is a hostile place to work in.
It's not just inconvenient. It could be a matter of life and death if anyone is injured.
We lost contact with the one in Sumatra Selatan because it's too far. We didn't know what really happened to them.
Kita menghadapi masalah. Tak silap saya lebih kurang antara 3 ke 5 hari untuk kami benar-benar menjejaki di mana pasukan ini ditempatkan.
With the radio links to his teams restored, Tuan Hamdan can breathe a little easier. But the harsh reality of the battle with the HAZE is about to take a turn for the worse. On the 26th September, at 3,000 feet above Sumatra, the pilot of Garuda Air Flight GA-152 begins his final descent into Medan Airport. As the pilot flies into thick haze, he makes a deadly mistake.
Confirm turning flash. We are starting turning right now.
26 September 1997, as Malaysian firefighters struggle to extinguish forest fires in Sumatra and Kalimantan, Indonesia. 3,000 feet above, Garuda Flight GA-152 begins its final approach towards Medan Airport. As the pilot descends through thick haze, with visibility reduced to just 800 meters, the pilot makes a sudden and unexplained turn. It is a fatal error. The Airbus smashes into a mountain 18 miles short of Medan Airport. The crash kills all 234 passengers. Although the cause of the crash, the worst air disaster in Indonesian history, remains unexplained, few doubt that the HAZE was a contributory cause. For the Malaysian firefighters, the news of the deadly crash is